Two, it is Clay from Team Make Flare with one of the stunniest decks to ever live the game, being Yang Zing's. It's a really fun floodgate reliant deck that has a lot of control aspects to it, so it makes it a really fun deck. As well as it's really budget, so I suggest picking up the deck while it's cheap. So right before we get started, go ahead and like and subscribe, and we will appreciate that. So getting onto the deck profile, I start off running the 3 copies of Swane of the Yang Zing. Essentially, the monster I sync with them gains 500 attack and 500 defense. So it makes it a beast stick, which is really nice. And essentially, like all Yang Zings do, when a Yang Zing is destroyed, it essentially replaces himself by special summoning another one from the deck. So the 3 copies of Swane. Then I run 3 copies of Beyond. Beyond essentially makes it where the monster I sync with them cannot be destroyed by battle, so it's really nice. A lot of people like it at 2. I prefer it at 3. Then I run the 3 copies of Jiaotu of the Yang Zing. 3 copies of Jiaotu. Essentially, you can discard 2 Yang Zings, especially 2 from deck. So it allows you to go into basically all your synchro monsters from the extra deck. It depends on the situation. But a lot of times, you can go into a Herald of the Arclight that cannot be destroyed by battle, or there's a really nice combo I can show you after the video where I make a Bixio with a Bezo along the side, so it's really nice. Jiaotu is one of the most important combo pieces to the deck. Then you run 3 copies of Chiwen of the Yang Zing. Chiwen essentially, when this card is, a card you control on the field is destroyed by battle, Yang Zing is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon him from the grave, but he's banished at the end phase. He is really nice. Mainly there just to push other, he allows you to push plays as well. So I like the 3 copies of Chiwen at the moment. Then I run 2 copies of Secret of the Yang Zing. I'm running 2 Secret, and then I cut out the Taoti in this build, just because he allows me to just do extra combos. I feel like Taoti isn't really that good at the moment. Whenever I feel like taking control of a monster becomes really big in the meta, I'll probably put him back to 1. But right now I just prefer the Secret of the Yang Zing over the Taoti. But Secret of the Yang Zing, he essentially searches out Yang Zing spells and traps, which makes him really nice. Then I run 2 copies of Yeah, I run. Sorry about the interruption, guys. But I run 2 copies of Bixi of the Yang Zing. Bixi essentially makes it where the monster I sync with them is unaffected by traps. So that is really good for this card's skill drain. Whenever I have skill drain on board and I make a synchro monster off of it, it basically skill drain doesn't work on my own monster. So the 2 Bixi's Then I run 1 copy of Zivraxi, Treasure of the Yang Zing. It's a decent one of. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but it's essentially it makes when it's special summon from deck or pendulum summon, he essentially makes it where I can make another monster a tuner. So he's really nice as a one of. The 1 copy of Pula essentially makes it where the monster I sync with him is unaffected by spells, so it's really nice as well. So that is my Yang Zing lineup. I feel like hand traps slow this deck even more, so I just decided to cut out hand traps for right now. I do side the Veiler and Max Hayes, but I don't like main decking them at this moment, just because I feel like Yang Zings are kind of already naturally slow, so running hand traps would just make your hand even slower. Now, onto the spells, I run 2 Yang Zing Path. A lot of people are going to criticize me for just running 2, but the thing is, running 3, I would open up 2 in hand, and I never want to see 2 in hand. Also, I just feel like a lot of times you're in a game situation. If you see this, and this is basically only good mid game, mid game and late game. And early game, you have to have a really good hand in order to use this. So I just feel like 2 Yang Zing pass is all you need. I feel like the third one can essentially clog, which sounds ridiculous, but it can clog just because there's times where you don't have enough Yang Zing monsters in the grave to do it. Or yeah, most of the time that is a possibility. Then I run 2 copies of Pot Duality. You gotta love them Pot You gotta love them pot, or you gotta love that type. You gotta love pot, I guess. Uh, Pot is essentially a really strong card. Allow me to just dig through my traps, makes it really strong. Like I said before, this is a really floodgate reliant deck, so I really do like the two power dualities at this current time. Then I run two copies of Dark Hole. I feel like Dark Hole is better than Raigeki in this deck, just because you do want to get to your Jiao and Dark Hole, essentially, I can Dark Hole the field with my Yang Zings to special summon the Yang Zing monster I really want. So the two Dark Holes. One Soul Charge, because the Soul Charge is amazing, as well as the one Instant Fusion, which I like to call Baby Soul Charge in this deck. Noden is always a strong play. And then Soul Charge essentially let me... if I resolve Soul Charge, I basically win. Sorry about another interruption. I'm sorry about that, guys. But yeah, the Instant Fusion, which I like to call Baby Soul Charge, and then Soul Charge. That covers the spell lineup. And I'm thinking of building the Zephyr build. I have most of it. I just need one more Oracle and then one more Skyr. So if you guys have that, if you want, I can upload a trade binder or something and show y'all. If you have anything you want to trade for it. 3 copies of Yang Zing Creation. Creation is really good. It gets my plays a lot. It gets a lot of my plays going. If I open up with a trap heavy deck, or if I open up like one Yang Zing and a bunch of traps, and I see a Yang Zing Creation in that hand, I feel like I'm gonna go completely off while my opponent go completely minus. It just allows me to initiate a lot of plays. So you have to run this at 3 in my opinion. It does stack, which makes it amazing. So basically, what I mean by stacking, you can have 2 of these, and then a set monster, and you essentially you would get both of the effects of this and a Yang Zing effect. So that what makes it really good at 3. I've seen people run it at 2, but the fact that this stacks, you kind of have to run this at 3 in my opinion. Then for effect negation, I do run the double breakthrough skill. You can run Solemn Strikes, but like I said, I feel like I'm building mine more as a budget rogue deck, so I run 2 breakthroughs instead. You can run Solemn Strikes if you want. It's all up to you. But I'm gonna actually go with the breakthroughs. Also, breakthrough is kind of better than Solemn Strike in the sense that there's a lot of floodgate monsters running around. So if this is engraved and your opponent has like a Majesty or Vanity's Fiend on board, you can just banish this, negate the effect, and then keep your plays going. So breakthrough can be better than Solemn Strike in a sense. 2 copies of Call the Haunted. Call essentially allows me to special summon my monster back, which is really strong. The Solemn, the Vanity, the Torrential, the Skill Drain, and the Quaking. I like to call these the showstopper cards. These cards essentially stop my opponent from going off. Solemn is just a negation. Vanities, of course, stopping special summoning is great, but you gotta be careful with this card. Torrential is Torrential. It's basically a Dark Hole. Skill Drain. It's a more Torrential is more an reactive Dark Hole. Skill Drain is essentially a continuous effect negation for all monsters on field, and the Quaking is, oh my god, amazing in this deck. I'm probably going to bump this up to 2 and then put Call to 1. The Quaking essentially makes all monsters face down, which is so phenomenal. So that is my trap lineup. That is 14. You can actually play lose on turns, but I feel like it slows me down. So that is the main deck, guys. Going on to the extra deck, of course, I got to run 2 copies of Baxia. Baxia essentially gets a lot of plays going. This is a really phenomenal card. Being able to just spin cards back from the field to the deck is really good. So 2 Baxia. Then you run the 2 copies of Herald the Arclight. I feel like this is a really strong play. Making this not be able to be destroyed by battle is phenomenal. Then I run 1 copy of Leo, Keeper of the Sacred Trees. There is a deck called Raid Raptors, and this card essentially is your way over Ultimate Falcon, so that's the reason I run Leo. Then I run 1 copy of Chao Fang. Chao Fang is pretty good as well. Chao Fang is essentially is a skill drain for each monster I use as material. Basically, all those attributes my opponent monster, like basically the attributes I use to sync with them, my opponent cannot activate those effects basically. those monster effects, they are the same attribute as the monsters I sync with. So Chafang is essentially a game-winning card, but you only run one just because you only resolve it like one time a game. Then one copy of Beals. Beals is always a strong card. You can make it unaffected by spells, which makes it really good in the Monarch matchup. Then the Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. Scarlet is a really strong card as well. This card can win games, as well as being a 3K beater is really nice as well. Then I run the one copy of Yazi. I noticed through playtesting, I only resolved this once, and I'm usually testing my opponent when I make this if they can get over it. If they get over it, I never want to make it a second time. You only make it that one time to see if they possibly can get over it while you build up resources. So you only resolve one Yazi per game, in my opinion. So the one Yazi. One Michael of the Arclight. Michael is a really strong card as well. Being able to banish cards is really strong. Even though it targets, it's just the fact that it banishes is still strong. The one Odd-Eyes Meteor Burst. This essentially is a card really good against Cosmos or any deck that floats or activate effects during the battle phase. So the one Meteor Burst. One Black Rose for clearing boards or established boards. One Goyle Guardian for taking my opponent's monsters. The one Armades because it's Armades, and the one copy of Elder Entity Northern. So that is essentially my deck profile, guys. I'm sorry it took a while. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and rate, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.